looms on the outside in third. Alan Webb trying to pick it up from fifth. Coming into the home straightaway. It is Bernard Lagat in front. Lagat shows the way. Lamong is taken over. And here comes Manzano fighting for second and third. But out in front, Bernard Lagat. Lagat crosses the finish line. Manzano will be second and Lamong third.
Sudan is located in the northern part of Africa. It is the largest country in Africa, and it is separated from South Africa by the Nile River. With a population of 28 million, the average Sudanese person lives off the equivalent of $1.25 US each day. This makes Sudan one of the most poverty-stricken countries in the world. Rob and Barb Rogers wanted to make a difference and have adopted 6 Sudanese children over the last 15 years.
Rob and Barb Rogers helped raise 6 Sudanese kids, Lopez, Downick, Peter, O'Hare, and the brothers, Omat and Obarker. All of them were in the Lost Boys of Sudan project. Lost Boys were Sudanese refugees who escaped the deadly military camps in Sudan and fled to Kenya. Some of the Lost Boys made their way to the United States. Barb and Rob welcomed their 6 foster children and helped them adapt to American life, where there were many different restaurants ranging in cultures, as well as big homes shared by one family, unlike many of the camps in Africa. Life in camps in Sudan was very difficult. All they had to eat were sacks of uncooked rice and chickens for holidays. So on their way to the U.S., they heard there was unlimited food. They thought there would be as many sacks of rice they could eat, but really it was America's diverse food.
Lopez Lamong was growing up in South Sudan when he was kidnapped at the age of 6 and sent to a military camp. Eventually, he had enough of being tortured in his everyday life, and he squeezed through a hole in the fence and ran for 3 days straight. He ultimately arrived in Kenya, where he lived in a refugee camp for almost 10 years. When he was 16, Lopez was adopted by Mr. and Mrs. Rogers. When Lopez arrived at Tully High School, he wanted to be the goalie on the soccer team. His parents didn't really know the coach of the soccer team, but they were familiar with the cross-country coach, so he joined the cross-country team. Lopez soon fell in love with running, and after years of training, he made the 2008 U.S. Olympic team, where he was elected flag bearer in Beijing.
So in 7 years, he went from being a refugee in a third world country where he wouldn't be allowed to walk into public places to being the flag bearer for the United States of America in China, the 2 biggest countries, most powerful countries in the world, and he's representing the United States in China.
Robert and Barb Rogers helped all of their children grow up and adjust to the American lifestyle. They were very afraid that their new foster children would face racism. However, the boys persevered through it and eventually became well respected around Tully. The Rogers family not only helped their foster children, they supported their community. After creating a fundraiser to help get them to Beijing to see Lopez in the Olympics, they had a surplus of extra money. With this extra money, the Rogers donated to churches and refugee centers. They also inspired many other people to help kids in refugee camps. One lady was inspired by the Rogers and eventually adopted a child from China. Their story has helped inspire many people to adopt children from foreign countries, helping the world and the kids in need, because at the end of the day, it's for the children.